constructability. And a 125-foot wide lot. It's pretty narrow when you start adding setbacks in. And, you know, then you get the long, narrow, not, if the road could come down and split those lots, you end up with more square lots. It allows for a far more flexible use, you know, potential users have a lot more flexibility in laying out a space. So, you know, if the road even swung down a little bit further and you end up with 9 or 10 lots, but they're wider, more square.
Yeah, when I originally kind of dreamt this up,
Yeah.
I had it dreamt up more so in dividing, the property gets divided in half and lots in both ways. But of course,
That can happen.
what to do with your water, I get it. And where to put the pond then.
Right.
Having a road.
Well, could we send that pond down in the lower areas, Phil, that we had talked about?
So is it a regional pond?
It'll be a regional one, right? Good part.
But you still have to retain the water on your site. Yeah.
So you're,
So
so you're talking if the road comes in
Yep.
like this.
again,
Yep, and then that
Square
puts
that
your
you put down
lots
here.
that way.
You could.
a square lot helps with
Like
that.
this, Phil? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
because
thinking?
you still have to heat it.
And then have
Agree.
actually
You
the
don't have
road
to
go back
reach
here
it.
and then you don't have to mess with any of that.
I don't think. you can go by.
Well, here's the deal too. I don't think it should be totally ignored if we talk about coming behind.
Yeah,
This transaction just took place. Circle K officially owns this.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
been discussing buying
they're
this
fine with it?
parcel from them.
But they.
I don't have a need for it. I just kind of want to control it. If it's something where, you know, you could bring that obviously this way, it helps.
Well, if you had that lot.
Yeah,
this
a
is
lot.
lot.
And then you push this south and it maybe
Mhm.
helps to square this off. So that'd be a conversation. We would have to start with Circle K. I'm more than happy to start that conversation with them, just, hey, you guys ever be interested in doing this at all and rerouting in there now? There's where's Matt? You guys got some pretty big power boxes and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be tough to move. Be
Yep.
tough and expensive to move.
So we'd have to come west of those.
Yep.
Because they just put those in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if Circle K was willing to do something there, you could jog that off. I mean, it's probably the ideal layout long term.
Could that blue line that Tammy drew work with that's good?
I think if you could pick up enough land from Circle K, I think you could get them soft enough through
How
there.
about with no? Okay. they do the-
Oh.
we built for you.
No, it would be,
That'd be really tight.
Yeah, we should talk it through.
yeah,
Mhm.
no, if
Yep.
they didn't have the boxes there, you could maybe,
Right. That's gonna be tough.
but coming south of them and
But even if you don't get Circle K
mhm,
to become a partner in this development, adding a little bit more radius to the road, you know, coming south when you're when you're south of the liquor store is gonna help slow traffic down, because the more curve you have. What we find in our developments, you put in straight roads or straighter roads, it's a racetrack. And so there's a natural tendency to slow traffic down, it's a little bit more curvy. And then, depending upon the nature of the development, it's a lot more pleasant, as opposed to, a linear straight. If you have the space, I mean, it's just, you're fighting wetlands and conservation districts and, yeah, so it was just,
Well, like deliveries would.
so
still be
if this
okay.
kind of came even,
Because they
a
only.
little bit more,
Since I thought that's sorry.
if you can't come
Right.
around that way. Yeah.
You're talking about coming like this
Yeah,
and down?
yeah, or it's
That's
a more
quite the curve. too.
sweeping, yeah, but yes. Yes.
It's gradual enough, yeah.
Why not?
And do we get to pick the speed limit?
And then
For that road?
we'd have these lots.
I'm just asking, I wanna know who gets to pick the speed limit.
Well,
This is the parking lot, you know,
right,
so.
but if you're having, a crosswalk, if you're anticipating parking across the street. I mean,
Well, we're gonna have parking right in the front, they'll be backing out onto the road, to
right,
get in and out, right off the
Yeah.
road, so
that's true.
that's the way it looks right now.
I guess
This
one
is
thing
the
I would like,
road, these are the current parking spots we plan on keeping. They're
Oh,
gonna have
give
to
that
back
these.
to the
Right.
road.
Or you could even a little bit more radius and get, so it's a little bit more dramatic, so you can put an island in. Or, something as a barrier.
I don't know if we can go too much.
You can't go that
this way
far
'cause of
east.
Wetland
Right.
Yeah, it really falls off.
ditch.
We need to talk to whoever put that liquor store there.
For me.
They thought it was before me, right?
Before the road or-
It was Greg.
It was-
Or down.
what?
You just got-
No, Greg was here.
Maybe just did everybody.
Greg was
do
here
their
when we
own
moved it
law.
out there, wasn't he?
Greg LaRue.
I don't know, that's a tough one. You gotta-
I'll volunteer myself to start a conversation with Circle K. It would be
That would be good.
through our real estate company on behalf of the city, is how I would approach it. Basically, just to say, hey, I'm, as a representative of the city, and to sell lots, we just wanted to get you guys to the table and see if you're interested in talking about what this road would look like for there. That's as far as I'd take it, and if you guys are okay with that, I can do that as early as tomorrow.
That'd be great.
What
Yeah.
exactly do they own there? Can you point to me?
Pull it up on a.
Oh,
What circle can you?
good man.
So they own all the old embers, they own all the
Oh,
way
okay.
through,
All of that.
they own everything.
So how long have you talked?
I talked to Matt a day ago. Just, I said, hey, I see you guys close.
They're still telling us they're interested in their
Diesel
truck
station.
diesel. So
Yeah, they for
Yeah, I
sure
heard
are.
that just
Mhm.
recently.
Mhm.
I had talked to them about a new building and they said they're gonna depreciate what they have before they do anything about a new building. So I don't think they have any major plans, but they would like to do the diesel.
I don't think the diesel specifically does the city. That
Yeah,
you can.
yeah, I'll talk to them. Let's see here, I'll show, who was it that asked?
Yeah, that's all.
So they own, see my red box?
Yeah.
They own that red box where the Embers was all the way through to the gas station.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a nice chunk there, it's like 4 acres.
Gas station too, right? So they
Yeah.
basically
Mhm,
own it
yeah,
all.
all-
Yeah.
They own it.
They can change their sign.
So I mean, you would need basically, that ends up being 1.2 acres. You wouldn't need all of it. You would need all of a half acre or something there though. But I just have to talk to Circle K and see if they'd let it go. I would take the other half if they just wanted to sell this parcel.
They're using everything they have for diesel.
Have you seen the diesel plans?
I don't think they're gonna give that up. I think they can fit that on the first 2 parcels.
I think so too.
And then I think it would be the third parcel that they would look to
They
sell.
didn't fit it on the first.
Price.
Oh, yes, it does.
I think it wasn't diesel.
Hey,
I'll talk to them, see if not, though, if we assume it's not an option, and we still can kind of get an idea, from my perspective of trying to sell these. Square is better than even some of that, is just, we need to get a concept out there. I wouldn't do any final plats or anything yet here for a little bit. I think we should take it slow. I think we should open up every door. I just need a rough. This is kind of what we got going on over there. Who's interested? And then we just need to get all of the potential parties,
Right.
I think, going here. And
'Cause
we don't know what's gonna come up, right? We can have somebody that
Shorten this. This
takes
is
a
all
bunch of it.
wetland.
Mhm.
mhm.
We don't know. We have an idea of some.
And the other thing, as Sam, far better, you're probably a big.
Well, close to it, but you can't use it for anything.
Right.
We just can,
But if they move the
meeting,
roadway over here.
down in Princeton. And we're finding the smaller format lots
Mhm.
of half an acre
This goes like this.
are, where they can build a 3,600 square foot building.
Mhm.
It, there's a lot, we are getting
Hard.
a lot of demand, a lot of
This is what it
interest.
would look like.
So, if there's an opportunity to have smaller, a combination, the flexibility that you're talking about. Smaller and larger,
lots.
might be a nice mix,
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Does the city have any overarching vision or view right now that you guys see out there? Any proposed, or do you guys discuss architectural controls or anything like that?
No.
We've basically been just talking general concept stuff, like we don't want, like 5 used car dealers and, whatever, we like that wholesale retail combination idea, like you have and other places. So there's that mix of jobs and retail.
For sure. What does current zoning allow for like dealership type
It
settings?
does.
How much control do you guys have over that at the sale? Can you,
They have to
if
do
it's
it.
a permitted use, do you?
They have to do a conditional use permit through the city.
But you could have 100% control on the.
Oh,
setback.
absolutely.
I think so, right?
Of
If you guys
whatever
don't like the
comes.
use, you don't
Yeah.
have to sell it. I would say if
That's
it's
right.
council,
Yeah.
I mean, council will have to just vote on that. However, council falls.
Yeah.
If you guys
Right.
don't want a particular use and you vote that way.
Yeah, you could have like
That's-
your own.
Businesses with housing above it
beauty.
Right.
Too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
additional-
So,
Right.
that's
So
perfect.
many
Yeah.
And I think
renters and
Mm.
council seems like you guys are all kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have any sense of what a ratio of building to lot size should be? You, Sam, or
Pardon me?
a ratio of building size to lot size? Well, I've heard other cities have discussions on, they don't want to sell somebody 3 acres and then have them build a 5,000 square foot building.
Right.
They want a minimum of 20-25%
Right.
building, so they get their tax value.
Right.
That's another
Mhm.
conversation that's
Right.
worth having.
Right.
Well,
Established.
and we do have
And
someone who wants
Right.
more than 4 acres, unfortunately, but that is
But I think that
one of
comes,
them. that
But you might not
does.
want to sell it if they're only
Right.
gonna put a small building on there, you don't get any tax base.
They want to put a 10,000
Yeah.
square foot building there.
Right, but you'd have to be aware of that. You'd have to watch for that.
yeah,
Yeah,
so that's where we let the market drive that, to be honest,
Mhm.
because, so down in Princeton, they've got the 1.5 acre sites for $500,000.
Mhm.
Well, people don't want to buy that. They'll come and buy a half acre for $90,000. And so it's all market driven.
Mhm.
So if you got 4 acres and you're selling out $100,000 an acre, and they want to build a 5,000 square foot building, the math's not going to work if you
Sure.
spend $400,000,
Mhm.
on a 4 acre site. So I think if you stick to your pricing,
Nobody overbuy.
I don't think in today's marketplace that you can really afford to, unless they have expansion plan.
Right.
And outdoor storage.
There you go, Tammy.
But
What's that?
There you go.
the city could establish some criteria on what they want here for outdoor storage and
I think you
car
guys should look,
dealers. and-
I think we should look into some really, really basic parameters as to what you guys are kind of opposed to. And I don't think some basic architectural controls are the worst thing in the world. I won't control necessarily structure type. And I won't get too crazy with it, but you get sideways a little quickly if you don't have some
Well,
really
zoning
basic.
pretty
We
much
have a little
takes
in
care
our
of what
ordinance,
they
right?
Okay.
can build and what they can't build.
Yeah,
Zoning,
Would it be beneficial to have that zoning ordinance in the document? Like a document so that people can easily see
can
it?
see it.
Yeah.
With the.
yeah,
Yeah.
what are the,
brochure.
the
That's what
plans?
I
and-
think, and
Yeah.
then even just, hey, we're not gonna
we don't
do.
want a pink building, then a green building, then an orange building, then a yellow building.
Yeah, I think some basic thought with that
Mhm.
stuff isn't the worst thing in the world to think about, or even signage, right? To have uniform signage in places, so you don't end up with a million different.
and again, that follows our sign ordinance.
Yep.
But you could,
So-
establish specific things. for
Yeah,
this.
you-
Yep.
Right.
Because you want it.
For
you want
this.
more granular
Mhm.
than even that. Now, you don't want to get too carried away because you'll scare everyone away.
Well, if you have some
Exactly.
suggestions, have you ever seen any that you like?
I've never reviewed the ordinances, but we've all driven through cities where we go, that looks good. And ones where it's like, well, that's horrendous.
Mhm.
Drive down Division in St. Cloud, there's obviously no.
Oh,
Yeah, that doesn't-
Uh,
When you're looking at lots there, you talk about people wanting to build more, but we got the two little mini malls out there, are you thinking of lots that could accommodate those?
Good question.
When you're saying they wanna grow and they can get one unit, then they can grow it to the next one. If they buy it or,
Yeah, I think the next logical spot for some sort of a strip is in front of the dental clinic there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
That'd be
if,
natural, yeah.
I don't know how excited I would be to build a strip there. Cause you just have to get people to come
Yeah.
get there.
Right. Right. You might end up with a multi-tenant building out here, but it might be an insurance company or, you know, to one of the local service providers, whether it's a heating, air conditioning, or plumber.
Yeah,
You know, trade type. You know, you could end up with some really nice,
actually, that'd be really cool.
I agree. That's why I kind of
you know.
think
where
we do really
you're-
good there, some trade businesses.
You're driving business, you're driving employment.
And I go, okay, it's Milaca too. We have to remind ourselves there, we don't have 1,000 users. But I don't think we should necessarily shortchange ourselves on that. Nobody's gonna be interested in being here, because I do think there's gonna be some interest. I can't imagine the burn is too high for the city of Milaca, where this is something where this project has to come together in 2 months, you know what I mean? You know, I know you guys got some interest, I think you got some holding costs and some interest and stuff, so it's urgent. But we got one shot here to do this.
Right.
I know that
Guess we'll look at a couple of different
the
options.
city of Cambridge did a great job marketing Highway 65 in the traffic. It's like, don't drive by, you know, your future office, your future, you know, plan. And they built out, you know, but, you know, coming up and down 169 at 6 o'clock in the morning,
It's loaded, man.
people are going into town to work. And so if there's some way that, you know, you can offer that alternative, you know, get, you know, like a building. You know,
I'll tell you this, we had 300 applicants at my. I mean, there's people that do not want to drive in the city.
right?
Mhm.
So a lot of us.
I mean, if you think about it, Black has got a great marketing opportunity. It's like, it could be a campaign. We're gonna give you 2 hours of family time back. Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cause you're not gonna have to drive. I mean, that is meaningful,
that's huge.
you know, if you can.
And it's probably more than 2 hours when you
Yeah.
think about traffic.
As soon as they get the four lane to Hinckley, we'll be in good shape.
And I've talked to you specifically, I know, Dave, about this, where I said, and I think it's the thought process that with this is. The best, in my opinion, the best thing for the city is to get the small business owner types, where the kids go to the school, they participate. They donate to the school. I mean, it doesn't do us a whole heck of a lot of good to get the big national retailers there.
Mhm.
Some of the like residents and stuff, like, it's handy for them, but they don't live here and they
Right.
don't do anything here. They don't participate here, right? I mean, it's a lot of employment. I mean, the employment part's really good, but it is a different feel when you go to a town that's made up of a bunch of small businesses
Mhm.
and they're participating, as opposed to they're strictly national retailers. So from that perspective, I mean, some of the smaller lot sizes and things like that are helpful. You get the guy who can build a $600,000 sweet building for his construction company. It's not a $4 million project.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, you've maybe all seen the RW builder, you know, just south.
Yep.
Come up, you know, ISO building. You know, all lot. You know, it'd be great to have.
So Phil, when you look at these road modifications we've been talking about, are we talking significant changes in money? Not bad, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
And then it's just dead ends at the north property line there. or the east property line.
We looked at a cul-de-sac, yeah,
Yeah.
cul-de-sac at the end, yeah.
That was my suggestion, is you might wanna do a cul-de-sac
Yep.
out,
Yep, that's the plan,
and then keep an easement or, you know.
yeah.
expand in the future.
Yeah, and hopefully get out to
Yeah,
two,
but-
yeah,
Cul-de-sac again is a little bit more friendly.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
yeah, where you just end in a road, yeah.
Sorry, no.
You need that one.
And then one thing we can do really affordably too
That magnetic.
is get, once we get,
Yeah.
let's let the snow melt again now, I'll get some drone shots out there as part of our service and what we do. But then from there, we can take that and give it to these rendering agencies for $295 an image. So if we have them do 4 images for less than $1,000, around $1,000. I mean, you'll be like, holy cow, that looks real. Like, they're nice. So I think we'll get some of that stuff done on some of these early preliminary plats. I think we should all be really just, if we get on the same page, these are preliminary plats for visualization purposes. As we continue to go down this road, we can get them on the front page of the Union Times. We can get them on some of these, you know, obviously we blast all the marketing and stuff dollars there. But the more people can visualize, the better. I don't know what ordinance says there and what's through. I can dig into it if a billboard's an option there for you guys too. But getting a billboard there might not be a bad idea for you guys. And for now,
Yeah, we've
if you
got-
take the position for advertising, and then eventually you'll get the, just continue to pay from the expense. on it.
Mhm. Is that within our sign?
We have billboards in our ordinance.
We have what?
Zoning. In our zoning, we do have the billboard.
To not allow it,
Not allow it.
Right.
right,
I talked to Dan Franklin about it
Mhm.
and he said they would love, I mean, they'd love to put a board on, of
Mhm.
course. He goes, I know we've been down this dusty road in City Monica,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
Oh, you've seen where they have their for sale sign now, right?
Yeah.
it's just not,
Yep,
we
that
gotta
is
get
it.
that.
It's
big
just a,
10 times
just a little.
Yeah,
big, like huge.
yeah, you gotta look for it,
Big.
yeah.
So are you looking at a billboard as a revenue generator, or is it advertising?
Both. So I think use it as advertisement for now and then. And you would just probably rent the position from whoever puts the billboard on.
Right,
Now, I don't know how you guys would go about that with politics and all that.
Wow.
So as opposed to a billboard, there's the option that you can have a project identifier, you know, a monument.
Oh.
sign
Mhm.
That.
Yeah.
Is. you
That
know,
just shows this
project,
whole layout.
And then you own it.
You know, and then
And you
you
see
use it for
so many of
marketing
those.
initially, and then
Yeah.
once, you know, the project's built out as more, you know, community. Service, announcement possibly,
Mhm.
or, you know, indicate who's in the center. or
Yeah,
something.
could advertise something.
So that's, you know, that's clearly a,
That's where the
an option
property
that,
lines go
that
up
we've
or
done
down.
in the past, get a.
The elevation
Or a
from-
monument sign up early.
yeah, that certainly seems doable,
Especially if we can get a lot or two sold, right? Get some
Yeah.
action out there.
Mhm.
yeah.
If even.
You can probably show them a lot
Just
of advertising, you know, if you get a.
What is it out that I'm a sucker for advertising? You make no money, no advertising.
They don't want to do this. It's over.
Yeah, you wouldn't make a lot of money on billboards. They're only maybe about
If
$500 a
that,
month.
yeah,
I mean,
otherwise it's gonna
Yeah.
have to come down like this.
You'd probably get like a $1,200 check.
Right, yeah.
A year from the billboard company.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're buying.
The nice thing is you don't have to
If
front.
you have a
No.
road.
Mhm.
They front the
This is
investment.
all like small.
You just, yeah, you
The
might
back of their
have,
lots, we just.
Yeah.
give us 6
Only
months
the-
of
Yeah, right.
first position or something, right?
Yeah,
Mhm. There's some options.
That's kind of an ancillary point at this point.
well, it'd take us 6 months probably to passed and straightened out with attorneys and everything else, but I don't know. Maybe the other sign,
It's not the lowest hanging fruit, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like this already better. If Bill can figure out where to send all the water,
Yeah, that's just it.
but this is pretty low here.
That's
You
pretty
could
low.
afford- you could
That's kind of
forego
why
a
we
lot.
put the road over here to storm sewer runoff into that wetland. This is all wetland there.
But I think that's that whole thing we need to look at with soil and water and those grants we're looking at, is that whole way of doing it that could be funded.
Right.
That's just concept. It is cute, little doggy park
This is easier to sell.
like that.
And even if you come this way, like you said, you just can maybe do the whole curve thing.
Yep.
Okay. Does that sound good? You want the,
That at least gives us a new direction to look at, as long as Phil's,
Phil, you good with
I
that?
think, I like Sam's idea, let's get 2 or 3 directions.
Mm-hmm.
And
You want this?
see who comes.
Take this with you?
You got another one? And
Just a bunch of them.
This is the only one we drove through on, so.
And then you can talk with Circle K and. see.
Yeah.
Mhm. You kind of look at that concept, a couple different ones anyway. Like to keep you busy.
Well, these are, yeah. I think we'd come up with 3 concepts pretty easily.
Okay,
You can shop them around. Right?
yeah. Okay,
The
good.
sooner we can get something to put on the front page of
Yeah.
Union Times.
yeah. Well, that gives us a layout then. That was our
Or-
first step here.
Or more than one map.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the first step here is,
You
on
wanna
the-
be that flexible, you have to.
yep,
Mhm.
yep,
Okay,
yeah, we're not rigid. Okay. Good deal.
So I don't want to go home with this.
You leave it on, we can stay here.
So follow me all over town.
Okay, so now we move on to discussing infrastructure costs. And we have Tammy, you sent this to Heidi over at Stantec? This information? This was from Heidi at Stantec?
Yes.
Okay, so that was taking the grant information that we had come up with through our small cities grant, and Molly is with us virtually up there on the screen. So she had helped us identify some of these, along with Tom, some of these grant programs. Looks like you sent them to Heidi to have her look at them. If you see on the note on the top, the one catches any federal dollars now are paused, so I don't know if we can go after much for federal money right now, but they're ones that we can look at, starting that process. We are also, I told Tammy I was in conversation with someone from the Soil and Water, Mille Lacs County Soil and Water the other day. Actually, she phoned me at the store and talked to me about them being involved. They have some ideas for like rainwater gardens, water runoff, those kind of things. They thought there's some funding available where they could help out with that too and want to be involved. So I'm meeting with them after we had this meeting, so we have a little more, I could give them a little more direction. So that's another possible avenue. Any other things I'm missing, Tammy?
I was gonna have Heidi talk about a few of the ones that she added on to the.
Oh, yeah, goodness, sorry, I didn't realize you were there. I was so worried about the drawings. I didn't.
Right. You know, I can just answer any questions that you have on
Okay.
them or focus on the business park potential. You know, there's some programs at local, state and federal level, potentially federal. The Central Electric might have some economic development funding programs, certainly the Initiative Foundation out of Little Falls. Then the state of Minnesota, the Department of Employment and Economic Development has the Greater Minnesota Business Development Public Infrastructure Grant, where it will fund 50% of the public infrastructure associated with economic development. So the water, sewer, storm, roads, up to $2 million for a community.
On that one, excuse me just a second, is that the one that has to be, it can't be retail?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. So they're looking at, in their terms of economic development, it's manufacturing, technology, warehousing and distribution, agricultural processing, those sorts of things. Now, if this were a mix where some of it is retail, some of it does match their definition of economic development, we could prorate the cost and apply for half of the costs associated with the
Oh.
manufacturing facility or the warehousing facility or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Similarly, at the federal level, you have the U.S. Economic Development Administration. Again, that is paused for analysis right now. But if it does continue to be available, that will fund, again, 50% of public infrastructure costs, but up to $3 million. So it's a little bit more. And there you would work with East Central Regional Development Commission to go through the USDA for that funding. And they need even help you with the application process.
Mhm. Okay.
And then certainly there's funding out there just for, infrastructure, depending upon what the needs of it is, I think I saw looking at downtown revitalization, there's the small cities development program, that is also a program from DEED. You can do commercial rehab along with housing rehab. We've seen a lot of communities be successful with that, pick a targeted area of town, which usually the older housing stuff is around the downtown core. And you could do a program for housing and commercial rehab.
Okay.
So that is listed in there. Do you have any questions on any of them in particular? You mentioned, Mayor Dillon, the Soil and Water Conservation District, they can pursue Bowser funding. The Board of Water, I don't remember what Bowser stands for, but anyway, related to wetlands and stormwater and those sorts of things.
okay, that probably was what she was talking about then,
Sure.
okay.
Okay. And then under Minnesota Rural Water, they also have available programs for water and sewer.
Right.
So those are always available too with a lower interest rate.
Yeah, and so interestingly enough, the USDA rural development, like their energy efficiency programs are paused right now, but their water and wastewater programs are not paused.
Okay.
But that's primarily a low interest loan program, but they do have a calculation that they run to see if the community would be eligible for some grant.
Yeah,
Can the public ask questions?
yeah, oh, yeah, this-
Great, thank you.
Maybe.
So- This is perfect, thank you. So these are, these programs, you would select one, they're not cumulative.
Well,
You can't, 50% USDA and 50%.
yes, you can match state grant programs with federal grant programs.
Okay.
You just can't match federal with federal, you can't
Okay.
match state with state,
100% of the cost could be covered.
potentially.
Okay, and primarily grants or loans?
The ones
Could
that
be
I
both.
spoke of for the economic development for the park piece were grants.
Okay.
yeah, I believe Tom talked about that too at one of our meetings, that using state dollars to make 50% match to a federal. Yeah.
But they are very competitive.
Oh, yeah,
And we did submit to the Pete Stauber grant, so
Oh, right, the congressionally directed spending.
yes,
mhm.
for this project. So if we get chosen, then we go into the next phase of that application, so. That would be very good because that would be 100% grant.
Yeah. Like- And that's a fairly, what was it, a 3-page form?
Yeah, to fill out.
Great.
Yep.
Except for, so the trick is, if you
Mhm.
get included in the appropriations bill, then you apply, it's kind of
Mhm.
backward.
Mhm.
Then you will
Yep.
have to submit an application, but you have the money, you just have to, check all of the boxes that they require, including environmental.
And it just depends on what program they pick the funds from. If it's HUD or something else. Or those are a little bit heavier lift on HUD.
Anybody have any questions on any of them? I think I mean, honestly, going after every avenue we can find. We are going to apply to League of Minnesota Cities to the grant navigator, which allows us to have $5,000 to help with grant writing. And we've got some information just received from Molly to look at hiring a grant writer to help with some of these that would require a little more of that expertise. So that's one thing we're going to do right away and use to help with some of these grants that we're going to try and pursue.
And Heidi, do you do grant writing?
I do.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
grant writing, funding research strategy, the grant writing, and then administration of the funds once received,
Okay.
which is my least favorite of my
Okay.
duties. You can imagine.
Okay.
All right, so moving along, just for your information, the grants received for the development so far, we've got $5,000 from the Empowering Small Minnesota Cities program that we are involved in right now, and the Initiative Economic Development Workforce Grant, that was from IF, right, Initiative Foundation,
Yes.
of $10,000 that's helping with pretty much engineering costs, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah. Yep, so that's helping getting things moving along. Our biggest need is to try and find a way to help with infrastructure costs because it's a lot. The next item is when to sell the lots, price of each lot, et cetera. For realtor examples, in your packet, Sam gave us all kinds of information on that. I don't know if anybody had questions for Sam on it, or if you wanted to add anything. I think we've been through it, but.
No, again, if we're gonna be flexible, we have to, on how we're gonna lay this out. We have to kind of come up with some sort of a general conclusion on how we're going to price stuff. Obviously, if we can have some sort of unit price per square foot, of dirt. It makes it easy, because if you come to me and say, I want 3 acres, say, okay, we're selling land at a month. You know, we can easily do that math.
Yep.
Something about, right, or we start making lots available at $100,000 to $3,000, $300,000, ranging anywhere from boom to boom. Some of them smaller lots, and some of the bigger lots, depending pricing, I don't know, we have to figure that out if we're really flexible. I can't just put 100,000 on lots
Right,
and run with them.
Right.
right.
Right. And so Stan, again, you're gonna know a whole lot more and be in touch with the market, down there, down in French then. Our smaller lots are like 575 a square foot, and the larger ones are 375. At least we have a range.
That's a good idea. We could go
Yeah.
0
So-
to 1 acre is this
yeah.
per foot, 1 to 2 is this per foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it yields you, right, the dollars to build the project.
Right.
And that we're within market value. You don't want to
Right.
do stuff way.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. But a little bit of a premium, for some of the smaller ones.
Mhm.
Not a killer premium, but a little bit.
Mhm.
I will go ahead and start working up a spreadsheet
That would
on
be good.
some pricing scenarios, and if, Bill, I guess the request to you would be if you can give me a rough idea of the sale of the acres that you think we can get out of this,
Yeah.
and then we can fall back and kind of divvy that up into some ranges.
That sounds really good. Anybody have questions on that?
The total cost of the project right now is, at 691, 300. Sanitary sewer costs, and these are just estimates, is 119, 250. Water main costs are 116, 250, so. Trying to find funding for all of it would be great. If not, we could fall back on our water and sewer funds. Even by paying those amounts, each one of those funds would still have well over $500,000 in those funds, so they wouldn't hurt the funds. As far as getting the water and sewer in there.
So
Is that phased? Bill, could you phase that too? Because if we had the people's money to buy the lots, we could just.
You could certainly phase it, right?
Yeah,
If you start
Yeah.
selling from the north.
yeah,
Oh, exactly. It'd be nice if we could kind of have an idea. The first phase of the project is 400,000, second phase is 220 or whatever. 500.
Mhm.
Then we sell $400,000 worth of lots too, yeah. but
Mhm.
we're just there.
Yes.
I think you should have a conversation about whether or not you think there would be any grading. Wow. Elevation change
There is.
would be a big expense too, but you know, a lot of times in a industrial project, they still. Yes,
Mhm.
I think I looked at you guys.
That's 690, how much grading do you have covered in that?
Zero.
Oh, so there's no
Mhm.
mass grading there. You get some numbers on it now. It's gonna make it possible.
Flatten out there.
A little bit, yeah, taking the pump up, these big fall, right there, down south, because that's where it is. And I do think there's enough on site to kind of balance it a little
Well,
bit.
We did put a lot there, but
yeah,
I think
don't
we-
think you want to insult it.
I think we can push some of that back around. But
It'd be nice to solve that. I could get you some numbers on what's some grade.
Then we can get creative on trying to find projects around us that are long, or stuff, I don't know what's going on, so again, like what you guys did out there. They call it pretty dirty, you did.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That worked well.
Well, a big issue gets to be is,
It's a clean fill.
yeah, do you grade it, pad ready, or do you just love it? Two different things, yeah. But I'd like your advice on that.
Well, the
Well-
phasing it thing is a little more complicated than mass grading, anyway, let's get it on, right? They need the money.
Or could you just not grade it and tell people they're on their own, like you were, you're, yeah. That's the conversation I. Some direction.
Could we put the stormwater pond at that low point at least up in the north or in the west corner of the project? Area?
Yeah, it wants to go on the east property line. Well,
That's
Mhm.
what it's,
Yeah.
but it's-
Without that effort.
You
it'd be
can,
kind of neat, at least to know
Would've
what
been
the
nice
mass
to
grading.
right the corner of the tree and the tree. At one point on the side.
yeah, this is where it is on the low side.
All the rocks. I got a big yellow. I'll cut them down. I'll cut 'em down. I gotta go out there and play, just finish cleaning it up.
Anything else on the
Oh, yeah.
price of lots or any of that information? You good, Phil? You kind of on the same page, everybody?
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have this, repeat this conversation in a few months. once
Mhm.
Right,
some more information.
Mhm.
okay. Sam, that worked for you?
Yeah, I think we should get something on the calendar. So we'll
Okay.
have a-
Mhm.
Okay. All right. We can do that now, or we can do it after we're done.
You wanna look at a date to meet in a couple of months, like in May?
How much
I got
time?
a list of 20 people.
Yeah. Well, it could be absolutely, a meeting, a work session we do before the council meeting. Could do something like that.
That would be
too.
a nice way to do it.
Mhm.
That work for you guys?
Maybe start the tour out there,
Oh, yeah, that'd be even better, yeah.
do 30 minutes on site.
Yeah.
Come back. Talk to them.
Yep.
And like,
So you have to do like a 5 o'clock meeting.
Yep.
So your first part of your, meeting would be work session.
Yep, we did that when we built the water treatment plant. We met out there and. You want to go April or May? How much time you guys want?
Well, how long do you think it'll take you guys to, kind of give us the 3 concepts? plan?
That's short. It's more,
That's short.
it's more what interests.
Okay.
fans.
Let's see, what do we got going on in April?
Because what I think order of operations, just so you guys kind of where my head's at. Soon as Phil got some preliminary stuff done. In the meantime, while he's doing that, I'm gonna get all the drone stuff done. The moment I have the preliminary stuff, I'm gonna send it out to the visualization people that are gonna make some of our drones. And that's really, once I have drones, I have some preliminary plats, got some visualization. I'm gonna start just floating kind of feelers out there and stuff and get the interest meters part, because the best thing you can do for development is have users. The rest falls together if you have people that wanna purchase.
So you wanna go?
Feel for what kind of interest there is by April?
Yeah. You think of 2 weeks? Yeah. Okay, so you're 2 weeks, let's go end of April, and then I'm comfortable in having some idea by end of April.
Our regular council meetings in April would be April 17th
Or May 15th.
or May 15th. If you don't want to crunch it.
So then probably go May 15th if we want to have an idea of activity.
Sure, because then we can maybe have some idea on some grants too, and some funding.
So we would need the council to call us, the meeting for May 15th would have a work session at 5 PM.
All right, can I get a motion for that?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion on that? Work for everybody? Tim, you're not gonna be fishing?
Maybe.
Yeah, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, we'll go May 15th at 5.
One other thing to consider that I need to know is, are you guys gonna put a 12-month clock on people if they buy dirt?
We'd have a development agreement with each one that purchases a lot that they have to build within 1 year.
Gotcha, so you can't land me.
Right.
Okay.
All right. We good on that? Any other questions or concerns? Okay, last item on the agenda is approve the Realtor exclusive listing agreement, extend term. We have that. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second that. Any discussion? Anything we need added? Nothing? We're all good?
I think we're good.
Sam, you're all good? Okay. Any no other questions? All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
One-
Whoop,
Let's go back.
what? Oh goodness, I was close.
Yeah. So you got to figure out the term. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I think Sam and I, we did talk about this to make the term go out to the end of 2026. Because if you're starting with a term that ends in February 2026, you're getting right into the seasons where people are going
Right.
to start looking at things.
Yep.
So I'm just thinking we should term it out to the end of December 31st of 2026.
Works for me, then we don't have to deal with extension.
Exactly.
What was that term?
Well,
Yep.
31, 2026.
You guys can terminate the contract whenever you want, so it's.
Need a motion for
We
that.
need to
You can
amend
have a
that.
motion for that to change the
Right.
term.
Well, let's do that.
All right. I'll make a motion to add the term that we discussed there. What was that? Dates?
12,
12/31/2026.
I'll second.
okay. Any other questions on that one? All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, so that's added, and now we'll go back to the exclusive listing agreement. We have a motion and, well, I get a new motion because we have that
Well, you
added
already
to
have
it.
the motion by Ken. And
Okay.
seconded by Norris.
All right,
So
now we can vote on it. Nothing else to change? Nope, all right, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, so we approve the Realtor exclusive listing agreement.
Okay.
All right, I have nothing else on our agenda, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Roberts?
Yeah, oh,
I have to say, I have built, and developed millions of square feet around the world. This is the most functional and healthy group of people to deal with, and the consultants. I mean, holy hot dog, this is what
we like
makes
it.
our country great, is neighbors and community coming together and talking through stuff and doing and doing things of significance and having a vision and willing to, work with programs and, take advantage. So thank you. I mean, this is, I mean,
No, I agree.
you get really,
Exciting.
like, you go to somebody says you just get beat up. Like, the first thing you walk in, well, we need, where's your checkbook? We need $20,000 before we'll. I mean, thank you. This is really, really healthy and encouraging.
I was
Thank
with the
you.
5 area mayors, just this week in the St. Cloud area, and everyone, developers talking about infrastructure. You guys gotta help get this infrastructure on the ground. Not a one of them had any idea what direction to go. I mean, you guys got all the people at the table, you're doing research to build
Yep.
this, that's a good job. And that's why I said the project just feels like it's gonna have some momentum.
Mhm.
Good. Thank you. That's good to hear. Well, and it works when we have everybody at the tables. I appreciate you all coming, so thank you very much.
All right,
But do I get a motion in a second?
you did not.
I'll take one to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, we're adjourned. Thank you.